Catch up with events. In the last sitting fortnight for the year, the controversial medevac regime could be wound back by the end of the week as Jacqui Lambie edges closer to some kind of a deal with the government. Senator Lambie has suggested she wants to amend the system without giving the coalition the full repeal of the legislation that it wants. Let's go live now to political reporter Eliza Edwards. Eliza, is the government likely, do you think, to agree to that, or are they going to push ahead and try and get the full repeal?
Well, it's not yet clear whether the government will be happy with just simply changing the medical transfer system, given it's been fighting hard for many months to try and repeal it altogether. But that does seem to be what Senator Lambie is calling for. Last night she said she was close to striking a deal with the government and was meeting with the Prime Minister this morning to discuss possible amendments. Her Senate crossbench colleague Rex Patrick also had a fair bit to say on Senator Lambie's position this morning.
Oh, look, there has been a lot of toing and froing from both officers and between advisors and myself and Pete, and I'm sure that we're not far off it. So, you know, just a few more days, I guess. It's just some face-to-face meetings, and we'll see how we go from there.
So does that mean you're leaning towards supporting that repeal?
I think what you'll find with the medevac, it may not look like it does today.
Well, I have spoken to Jacqui, and she is not supporting a repeal of the legislation. She is considering amending the legislation. I don't know the details of what she's proposing, and I understand she's talking with the government, but it's my understanding that she is not seeking to repeal that bill.
Yeah, interesting one that. I would have thought full repeal is what the government's after. The laws were unnecessary, but we'll see what those amendments are Jacqui Lambie's proposing. The other big issue, Eliza, for the government, of course, is the Ensuring Integrity Bill, the bill to bring in new powers to demand or enforce, really, union accountability. What chance do you think the government's going to get those through? Pauline Hanson seems to be the critical crossbencher here.
Yeah, exactly right. And Pauline Hanson's certainly being coy with her vote. She's not 100% across the line yet, and neither is Jacqui Lambie. And the government needs at least one of the two crossbenchers to get its legislation through Parliament. Senator Hanson says she wants to go through all of the amendments methodically before making a final decision. She's also been meeting with union leaders this morning who have been out in force in Parliament House protesting this so-called union-busting legislation and saying that the recent amendments that have been announced do not fix this bill.
And I don't have any intentions of rushing this through. And I gave my assurance to the unions that I will actually talk to them about the amendments. And I've had good discussions with them. They raised a lot of good points in the bill, what was wrong with the bill. And I have looked at that and put amendments up to counteract that.
If this bill, the Ensuring Integrity Bill, becomes law, not only will those fines apply, but now we will face those officers being disqualified from being able to represent workers like the ones here with us today. This is extreme, it's dangerous, there's no equivalent in the Western world, there's no
I'm sure the government wasn't expecting an easy road in this final sitting fortnight, and they certainly won't be getting one. Chris?